So we're looking to test the P5Mate input lag. I did a series of tests here, but first we're gonna start with the P5Mate on USB in the front against the Matrix remote play. So let's go ahead and show this right now. As usual, you won't be able to tell what's the difference. That's why I align these blue lights. Okay, if I go forward, that's where all the lines line up. If I go back, nothing. Blue lights. It's all aligned, so let's go keep moving forward. Okay, the first frame here has a shell that came off here. Let's go move forward. Shell, shell, shell. No shells. Actually, there's a shell right here. Okay. But these two looks more ahead because of how the fire powder is more bright. Let's keep moving forward here. Okay, on this frame you'll be able to tell that these two are ahead. This one hasn't even moved. Just keep going forward. So this frame is hard to tell which one's ahead, but if we go back again, this will pretty much tell you that these two are ahead because of the guns pointing upwards than all these ones. There are variations of input lags, and also this test isn't 100% accurate. Like I said, my tests are rough tests. Let's keep going forward. So I don't even know what's going on with this one, but this is USB 2.0. So I don't know what's going on with USB 2 with the P5Mate here, but there are variations of input lag, so that's what I could just see what's going on here, because it's gonna move soon. It's just really behind. Now it's moving. Right here. Yeah, this is definitely behind. So I think USB 2.0 has some inconsistencies on the input lags. Could also be the device P5Mate, who knows? But I did a test on the backside of P5Mate, and you'll see what's going on. And we're gonna go ahead and show you that. Okay, so next up we're gonna test the P5Mate in the back USB, which is the 3.1, and see how it's gonna go against the Matrix remote play. Let's go ahead and play the video. Let's go where the blue light starts. Right there. Go back. Nothing. Go forward. That's where all the blue lights are all aligned. So let's keep going forward. Okay, as you can see, USB 3.1 in the back side of the USB is already moving here, clearly ahead of anything here. And there's also a shell right here that's coming out. If I go back, there's no shell. Go forward, there's a shell. It's ahead of Matrix remote play. Keep going forward. Okay, in this frame, Matrix remote play started moving here. And pretty much neck to neck with the first test right here in the very left side of 3.1. Keep going forward. This frame will clearly tell you that because the gun is pointing upwards, that it's ahead of everything right here. Keep going one more frame. Okay, this frame will tell you very clear that the USB 3.1 in the back is faster than remote play, which is like news to me. This is a little shocking to me that just plugging your device on a 3.1. And this also, I heard USB-C as well, will be also as good as the backside of the USB, because the USB-C is on the front of the PS5. I heard you can use that as well, and you'll get the same performance with the input lag. Let me just keep going forward here. Finish this video. Let me show you guys a. Someone shared this in the Xim forums that pretty much tells you that the USB 3.1 has 0.5 millisecond delay compared to USB 2.0. It adds more delay, which is 3 milliseconds more delay than the 3.1. And as you can see here, the front USB-C as well, it's a 3.1, so I would suggest using that as well if that's your preferred type. So yeah, this is pretty much news to me that my past tests, honestly, I've been using the front because I've never thought it will make a difference. So this is pretty shocking to me. So P5Mate is actually a good device. It's not because of P5Mate really, it's because it's a USB, and we can get a performance like this by plugging into USB 3.1. Whereas the Matrix is only right now remote play, which is kind of a bummer at the moment, but we can always use the P5Mate. But the problem with the P5Mate is it's only 500 hertz. I've tried it with 1000 hertz, setting the Xim to 1000 hertz, and it didn't work well. Like, the aim is not accurate, and I was wondering why. So I did a little research on B. This is their forums, just B loaders forums, or whoever made it. Pretty much, they said here that please note the PS5 console USB only supports max 500 Hz. It doesn't work at 1000 Hz. Even we set to 1000 Hz, the PS5 console USB only works on 500 Hz. Sure, P5Mate support Xim Matrix 1000 Hz. But if we go to page 2, there's a guy here named Mega TF. He does some good tests, and it's gonna say right here that the DualSense Edge reports 1000 Hz wired via USB on PS5. This has been tested by OSIV. I tested both firmware, and the max the P5Mate give is 250 Hz. They actually updated it with a firmware that you can actually use 500 Hz now. But it's still not 1000 Hz. I don't know if they'll be able to actually get the proper 1000 Hz support, which they promised. But let's keep going here. The Razer Wolverine supports 250 Hz maximum as well. This is probably the reason. Since the P5 pretends to be the Razer, it has to use the same as the Razer. No rumble, maximum of 250 Hz. So yeah, so we are limited to 500 Hz with P5Mate. That's the downside of using P5Mate. And honestly, I've tried it with 500 Hz, and it's actually pretty decent, but it's not 1000 Hz. I've compared both Matrix Remote Play at 1000 Hz, and to me, the Matrix Remote Play at 1000 Hz is much smoother on aiming. So whatever you prefer. If you prefer 500 hertz, I think you should get the P5Mate because of the extra boost of input lag. Because you can plug it in USB 3.1 and get a, you know, performance like this. Let's go back to like just that frame. Yeah, you can clearly see here in this frame that these two are ahead of anything. So yeah, if you prefer 500 hertz, maybe for aim assist purposes, this is, I mean, I recommend the P5Mate to you. But if you prefer 1000 hertz, which is to me much smoother aim, I like 1000 hertz. I would stick with the Matrix remote play, and hopefully the Matrix team will be able to plug in this, because you know the P5 uses a chip from Razer that made it possible to connect to USB. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Xim team can do it themselves, like plug in that chip, but you know it's a production thing. I don't know if they're willing to do that, like make another Xim just to put a chip in there. From what I heard, they're not willing to do that because I was reading into it. Once they, you know, if they decide to do an update, um, but the thing is, I don't know if they're gonna ban the Razer chip, you know, because that's like an official licensed controller. Um, but it could happen. You never know. So that's why the Zim team is staying away from that, I believe. But yeah, I wish there was a way to plug in this chip so we can just use the Matrix remote play through 3.1 and get this performance with 1000 hertz. Because right now the B Savior team did a great job by doing this with their product, but wish it was 1000 hertz. They are advertising it's 1000 hertz, but really it was 250 hertz in the beginning, and I think they did an update that made it at 500 hertz, but it's still not 1000 hertz. And well, hopefully they'll be able to solve that issue so that you know we'll be able to use 1000 hertz on P5Mate, but right now it's limited to 500 hertz, which is that's the downside to using this device. But yeah, that concludes my video. Pretty much shocking news that you know plugging it to 3.1 USB 3.1 improves the performance. This is new to me. All my tests in the past, I believe I used USB 2.0, and that was a mistake. And yeah, I will be doing more tests in the future. And my next test will most likely be comparing 250 hertz, 500 hertz, and 1000 hertz. If it will make a difference with the input lag. I already actually conducted that test. I just gotta upload it. So that actually concludes the video. Thank you for watching. You guys have a great day.